This program is brought to you by UCKG.
Hello guys, my name's Patience. I'm here to tell you my story with battling with alcoholism and the problems that I suffered while through this addiction. I hope my story helps someone out there to overcome this addiction. Watch my story.
Good evening and welcome to your program Finding Answers. Tonight we are going to talk about something very important. We have here also our guest Patience, that she's going to share a story, a wonderful story of someone who was able to overcome an addiction, an alcohol addiction. And if you are watching us now and you're going through that problem as well, don't fear, give yourself a chance to start afresh, to start over. Sometimes we carry so much the problems in our back and we need to upload the load. We have to take a little bit of the load out of our shoulders, and you can do that by sharing, right, Neil?
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening. And the coming of the story of patient here, she was addicted. I'm just giving just a piece of the cake to the viewer. She would drink every day. The addiction started causing embarrassment. She felt very low.
Yeah. And how many people are watching now and you are feeling low? They are feeling low. Because you are going through a problem. Just to give you a little of statistics, let me share something with you. The Office for National Statistics registered that in 2016 to 2017 there were 337,000 estimated admissions where the main reason for the admission to hospital was attributed to alcohol. Imagine how many people are going to alcohol. NHS in this country suffers because people have not been able to put a stop to the alcohol.
Let's put it like this. Many people, David, they think that turning to alcohol will solve my problem.
Yeah.
But we see that many, they are turning to it and making their situation 10 times, 20 times worse. And this is where the situation is.
So let me talk to you who is watching us now, and you are going through a problem, with that addiction. It has been overwhelming you. It's like you are losing control. Maybe you have lost control, and until today you are saying, no, everything is fine. It's not fine, and you know it. But if you give God a chance, I believe that He will help you. I just want to tell you that if you're watching us now, you're not alone. You're not alone. Your fight's our fight. We are going to pray for you, and I believe, that God is going to do great things in your life. And to prove to you that, Neil, let's watch this testimony of someone who overcame.
Yes.
Life in the beginning seemed like it was spiraling downwards. I had so many addictions. I was addicted to pornography. I was sleeping around. My house was broken. There was constant fights in my house. It just seemed like there was no way out for me. I was failing in my studies. I had no future. I had no prospects. I had no plan for my life. And it just seemed like, hell just broke loose in my house, and there was just no other way for me to go than to continue the life that I was living. But then I had a friend who actually showed me that there was hope. He believed in me. Someone believed in me. And honestly speaking, before then, I didn't have no vision of hope. I didn't believe that something good can happen. Until when he gave me an opportunity, he gave me advice and told me that, my life could actually move forward, and that the life that I was living wasn't the life that I didn't have to live that kind of life. So today, I'm no longer addicted to pornography. My family's restored. My future's looking brighter. I'm not failing in my studies anymore, but I'm actually doing really well.
You see, this testimony is a proof, Neil,
Yes.
that God can do and God can change a person's life.
And when a person is facing a problem, what that person needs to do, first, I accept that, yes, I have a problem. Then I have to learn how to put my faith in the living God. Do you want to see the power of God in your life? Start to use faith. Start to learn and prepare yourself, because you are going to watch. You're going to watch the story of patience very soon. So I advise you, call your friends, call your family members, send them a text, send them a message, tell them to tune in, because her story is going to open the minds of many people, David.
Yeah, definitely. Patient's story.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. And she's coming tonight with her daughter.
Yes.
To confirm her story, to tell us the other side, you know, what a child goes through when she sees her mother going through that addiction. And you know, according to the Lancet medical journey, Neil,
yes,
if you don't know, drinking will shorten your life.
Yeah.
Every pint or glass of wine over the daily recommended limit will cut half an hour from your expected lifespan of 40 years old.
It's very serious.
Imagine.
Very serious.
And how, if you're watching me and you're going through that problem of alcohol, you are saying, hey, I'm going to die soon. No. It's just a statistic. But this statistic can become a reality when it happens in your life.
Yeah.
So don't let it be a statistic. Make sure that you come out of that, because when we have our faith in God, all things are possible. And Patient's story will show you how great God is. So if you are suffering, if you're going through a problem, if you're going through a situation which you think that there is no solution, I'm telling you, there is, when you believe and you have hope. Don't lose hope. Don't give in to that addiction. Don't give in to that problem. Believe, my friend. Yes, you are watching us. Maybe you're watching us every night and you like our stories. You like what we tell you. You like the testimonies that we show you. But I want you to enjoy even more a better life than just liking what we show you. So give yourself a chance. And I know for sure that God is going to do great things for you. Neil, let's go then to find what Patient has to say.
Yeah, let's go there.
Let's go for a break. We come back with a testimony of Patience and her daughter, who's going to share her story, how she was able to beat alcohol. So let's find out with our guest who is here tonight how wonderful her story is and what did she do to overcome this problem of drinking alcohol. Good evening.
Good evening.
Patience, right?
Yes.
Today you don't suffer with it. We know that's the reason why you are here.
No, I not at all.
But it did affect you in a very powerful way, right?
Yes, it did.
And we have here also tonight your daughter,
yes,
right? What's your name?
Sonjay.
Sonjay.
Yes.
So Sonjay, you are here as well to confirm what your mom went through, right? So how long did you suffer with this?
I think it must have been since 2014 to 2016.
So 2 years of your life you were really heavy addicted.
Yes, to alcohol.
But did you realize that you were addicted or it took some time?
In the beginning, it was just like drinking now and then, you know, over the weekend, just having 1 or 2 glasses of wine. But then it started escalating because I had problems with the external family, the extended family. So I wasn't understanding how to handle the situation, and I felt as though my voice wasn't being heard with the issues that I would raise in my marriage or maybe the extended family. So that caused me to even drink more. So it started with 2 glasses of wine, and then it went to, you know, having the 1 bottle of wine, and then 2 bottles of wine, and then it went to having beer, you know, like maybe Heineken, Stella, Budweiser,
Wow.
you know. And it's like, for me, it was an everyday thing. It didn't matter what day it was for me.
So what triggered this problem? Because until 2014, right?
Yes.
I believe you drink normally,
Yes.
right? It was something normal for you to do in your normal daily life. But what triggered for you to go and engage in such heaviness, starting 1, 2, 3, 4, and every day more and more?
I think what triggered it was I wasn't understanding who I was anymore because of the extended family members. It's like I wasn't having a sense of myself. I had low self-esteem. I couldn't like voice out what I wanted to voice out. So instead of trying, I just found comfort in drinking. I just liked the way it made me feel, and it was like feeling that hole that I was feeling, like you know, to confront. Instead of confronting the problem, I wasn't confronting it. I was like basically making it to be comfortable. So the way I was making it feel comfortable was by drinking alcohol.
So instead of you facing the problem, instead of you making your voice be heard, you hide yourself in the drinking problem.
Yes.
And this generated what?
It generated that when I was drinking, I wouldn't be vocal anymore. I would just be, what can I say? I wouldn't be talking as much. Like my daughter or my son would want to come and talk to me, or I wouldn't, you know, want to socialize with people. I'll just isolate myself and just find comfort in just drinking. And the funny thing is, when I was drinking, I would manage to do my day-to-day errands,
Activities, yeah.
activities, and it was just normal for me. And you know, the first thing when I woke up was to actually, you know, find a drink. It can be like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and as long as I had 1 or 2, I would be, you know, okay then.
You were thinking that you will only function if you had alcohol in your blood system.
Yes, yes.
Sonja, right?
Yes.
You watched this. Did you realize that your mom in the beginning was addicted, or you found out later on?
In the beginning, I thought it was normal. As she said, she'd start off with 1 glass of wine, 2. So I thought it was normal. I thought it was completely normal. As I kept seeing her doing it more and more, then I realised this isn't normal. And then I'd see her with a bottle, then I'd realise this isn't good. And I would tell her, I would voice out to my mum, and I'd tell her, why are you doing this? I'd ask her, why are you doing this? Obviously with a balance, because she's my mum and there needs to be that respect. Yeah. But it did become too much, and I saw that I needed to speak. So I did ask her, why are you doing this, mum? She would never give me a clear answer. She'd always say, leave me alone. And she'd literally tell me to leave her, and she would tell me to leave the room. But it would hurt me inside knowing that there's a problem here, something's wrong, but she doesn't want to speak about it to me.
How old were you already in that time?
I think I was 21,
21,
22. So I was in university. So I was...
So you were aware already of the dangers of alcohol?
Yes, yeah.
When she asked you, how did you feel? Didn't you feel guilty? Didn't you feel happy? What was the feelings?
The feeling, I just wanted her to leave me alone, because I was enjoying the alcohol at that time. So every time she would ask me, why are you doing this? It felt as though she was bothering me, you know, but I could see that she wants to help me. But I believed that I'm the one who could help myself, no matter how much she, you know, voiced her opinions or advice on the situation. The only person that could change it was myself.
So I can only imagine, you know, how many people, patients, go through this problem that you're going through. Because, you know, Neil, as she was saying, sometimes people have a problem, but they don't want to acknowledge that problem.
Yes.
So they say, get out of here. No, I'm okay.
Yeah.
You don't need to bother me. But they have a problem inside.
It's like they fail to recognize, even though they can see, but they put on that face that says, you know, I don't have a problem. Yeah. And there are many people, David, maybe you are watching now, and what we want you to understand, my dear viewer, is this. When you become addicted, something triggered that thing. Maybe you say, but I'm not addicted to drinking, but maybe you're addicted to gambling. You're addicted to something. Something causes it. That addiction you become addicted because something was missing, and you want to fill a gap. So you reach to that, as she says, as patient says, that she starts with one glass, then she reached to a bottle. Maybe you wife, you watched your husband, you watched your wife develop this addiction, and you did nothing. Now it get out of hand, and many times they watch, as Sanjay said, she saw.
Yeah.
But even though she'll try to say something, the mother push her away.
Patient will push her away.
Yes.
Because, you know, especially if it's your daughter, right?
Yes.
I believe you have, I don't know if that, but normally that's what parents have. You know, you have no saying, I'm your mom.
Yes, definitely.
You had that in your head.
Yes, that's what I definitely had.
And you didn't listen to any advice, any word that you were saying to you?
Not at all, not at all. Because I knew what I wanted, and I was going to do what I wanted regardless what she was telling me at that time. Because at that time, all I could think about was just, you know, fulfilling my desire at that time. And I wasn't ready to listen to her advice on anything.
You didn't want to take in what you were saying?
Yes, I didn't want to.
Did you feel hopeless when you see your mom getting, you know, because as she went gradually, she was getting worse. Is there any moment in your life that you saw your mom really drunk at home, or you saw her behaving in a funny way, in a strange way?
I would usually see her in that way when I was coming back home from somewhere. So maybe I'm coming back from university, as I mentioned. Just by looking at her, I would know. She knows, that's why she's doing this face. I could see in her face, today she's had a drink. Her eyes would say it all. Her movements would be much slower. She would slur her words. I could just tell, today she's had a drink. And when I would tell, in that moment I would feel quite hopeless, because it would take me back to maybe the week before when I told her, Mum, stop doing this. That would make me realise, okay, she hasn't listened to what I said to her last week, or she's just not wanting to listen. So I would feel hopeless in the moment, but then I'm not someone who forces anyone. I understood she's her own person and that's what she wants to do. I was only there to guide her and to advise her, but she had her own opinions and her own ways, so I had to leave her to do what she wanted to do. So I just gave it literally, at the time I was going, yes, basically.
You hoped that something better would happen to your mom,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
And how would you feel, you know, because once the problems start getting worse, you know, how was your family? How was the environment? Were you married, you divorced? How was it?
Actually, yes, I was married, and it's funny you say that, because my husband recently passed away in May. My husband, when he saw me drinking, he would actually ask me, why are you doing this? Why are you, putting yourself through this? Because I was happily married, to my husband for 23 years. So he wasn't understanding why I'm doing that, but I would tell him that no, because of the problems of the extended family, but he still wasn't understanding it. He says there's other ways that you can deal with problems rather than you taking it to drinking.
Would you take all the problems of your family on your shoulders? Would you be the one who carries everyone together?
I think because, when you've got like a vision of how your family is supposed to be, and that vision is not coming to light and it's not happening, you start thinking to yourself, why isn't this, supposed to happen? I wasn't understanding different situations at that time.
And your escape route was?
So my escape was just drinking.
Drinking.
Yeah.
So if you're watching me now, stay tuned, because in the next segment we are going to find out what was the lowest point in her life and what did she do, to regain back self-esteem. She said that she suffered with low self-esteem, and we want to find out why. But we are going to know that in the next segment. All right? Stay tuned. Watch this break. We come back with Finding Answers. Welcome back to Finding Answers. If you just tuned now, we are talking about an addiction that has been destroying many people's homes, alcohol. But maybe you're watching us and you're not suffering from alcohol, but you're suffering from any other kind of addiction. It may be gambling, maybe it can be food. That's why there is obesity in your life. You want to stop eating, but you feel that compulsive, desire to do and eat more and more. And you have been suffering for many, many years. But there is a way out and you can change your life, all right? Patience is here with us tonight. Patience, I know you have been telling us that, from 2014 is when you started because of the extended family problems you had.
Yes.
But you also mentioned that you had low self-esteem because no one would hear you.
Yes.
What was this creating inside of you?
It was just creating in me that why isn't my voice being heard? Like if I want to talk about how I'm feeling or problems that are happening around my family, there was no one that was really listening to me. So it just created, me not being confident in myself and just created me having low self-esteem. Yeah.
It's amazing because you are a mother of Sonja, right? Did
Yes.
you have any other son or daughter?
Oh,
or?
yes, I've got Sonjay and I've got Tinashe. And Tinashe is 18 years old, Sonjay is 23, and my younger one is 14.
So you cannot say that you were alone,
No.
basically.
No.
But your siblings, you have siblings, you have father,
No,
mother.
it's just myself and my young brother. So,
You have.
Yes.
But your extended family, what do you mean when they didn't hear you?
Kind of like, my husband's part of the family.
Okay.
There's certain things that would happen and I would try to talk about it with my husband, but my husband wasn't understanding where I was coming from. So, and also not moving forward. I would have like the desires to move forward in life, but it's kind of like everything was just blocked. So I wasn't understanding like how comes, others are, progressing in their lives, but mine is just stuck. So that just, because, when you have like visions or dreams, you want to, achieve,
yeah.
and you find that you're not achieving them. And then you say, so what's the point, So I might as well just do what I'm doing, because if I'm not moving forward, I'm trying all angles to achieve, but it's not happening, then I might as well just do what I'm doing. So
you took refuge in the alcohol. You told me something before of here that you used to go to the park with a...
Oh, yes.
Can you tell us that story?
Yes, the lowest point that I got to was, I was taking my son to the park, my 14-year-old, he's 14 now. I was taking him to the park, so I would buy a flask and I would put like beer in the flask. So that flask, maybe if someone saw me, they would just think, oh, she's drinking a drink or tea or water, what the case was. So when I was at the park seeing my son play, drinking, that was my lowest point, because I could see that that's not me. So I saw that I had to change, but I didn't know how I was going to do that, how I was going to change,
How you were going to change
how I
it?
was going to stop drinking.
Did you knew that your mom used to do that? Or
I didn't know.
You didn't know?
No.
It's a revelation for you now.
Yes, yes.
But you used to see her.
Yeah.
Would you see her, every day and every night, with that same mood, feeling down, feeling depressed?
Not every day. It would be every now and then. So within a week, at least once in that week, I would see her in that state. I would, yes.
And did you do anything to come out of that situation, or you just, what else can I do? No one is hearing me. My family doesn't listen. I don't know if you can say that your husband doesn't listen, because by what you're saying, he will support you, right? What did you do to come out of that situation?
There's a local, because my daughter was attending our local faith school. So I said, no, let me give it a try, because I was seeing how God was transforming her life, even though she's 23 years old. But I could see the changes that God was doing in her life. So I said to myself, no, if God can do it for my daughter, then God can do it for me. So as I started attending, our faith school, that's when I started having a relationship with God. Because even though before I don't think it was a relationship with God. It was just saying, oh, I believe in God. But I didn't know that there was a thing called faith, that you can use your faith to overcome, to achieve, many things. So by going to my local faith school, I was delivered there. And when I started going to different kind of services there, I was taught how to use my faith and how to sacrifice and how to read my Bible and how to pray, just teachings on different things. So that's how I started using all things. And then I stopped. Now I think it's since 2016, I haven't touched a drop of alcohol.
Today
I'm
you are free.
Free.
But was it easy?
It was not easy. It was because every day was a constant battle. I literally had to fight with the temptation, because it does say in the Bible that temptation lives right by your door. Yeah. So it says that you have the power to overcome that temptation. So when I read that...
And this is what, sorry to cut you, this is what we want the viewers to understand. It doesn't matter what you are going through. Maybe your problem is you are fighting with your partner. You have problem in the job, problem in the business. It doesn't matter what the problem is. As Patience says, through faith, she developed a relationship with God. And through faith, she was able to overcome this problem. And if you are a regular viewer of this program, Finding Answers, every time you see what we present to you, the proof, we don't just come to talk about faith, David. We show the proof that God exists. And if we put our faith in this great God, then we are going to see things. We see many people, they are going through a problem, and one of the first things they think about, I'm going to kill myself, I'm going to run away, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Okay, these things do happen, but if I give faith a chance, my life is going to change.
Yeah, it's what you were saying. You're saying you didn't know what faith was, and you were literally maybe religious because you said you believe in God, but your life remained the same.
Yes.
Was there any moment in your life that you felt embarrassed with your problem?
I think I felt embarrassed when my kids in the morning, it was the morning after, when I couldn't, get out of bed, or maybe, they want to do things with me and I'm just like sluggish. That made me embarrassed in front of them. And, thinking of what I've done the previous night, that I shouldn't, be drinking, but I did it. It was just the after events that made me embarrassed.
Because when a person normally is drinking, she never thinks about the consequences.
Yes.
Right? When you are drinking, the only thing, tell me if it's that, the only thing that goes to a person's mind is, let me just forget.
Yes, just to fulfill that desire that you want to drink.
Let me just enjoy myself.
Yeah, let me just enjoy myself.
Would you enjoy yourself?
At that time, I would be enjoying myself when drinking, but then the morning after, when you've got the headache and you start feeling embarrassed because your daughter is looking at you, your son is looking at you, and you don't want them to see you. You want them to see you as a role model, but you don't want them to see you like, oh, yesterday she was doing this, now. So it just makes you feel embarrassed,
And then you made a decision to change.
Yes. You
learned to use your faith.
Yes.
What can you tell our viewers? Because sometimes there are people watching us now, and I want to address myself to you who's watching us. You go through a problem, and the hardest thing to do is to acknowledge that we have a problem. It's difficult. No one likes to lose, or no one likes to feel weak or smaller. You feel like you can't or you don't have the power to overcome. And that's why sometimes people get involved in drinking, because, let's say like this, I'm a man of a family. I can't provide for my family. I don't have enough money to pay the lights, the waters, to provide the best education to my kids. So many men, what do? Let's go to the bar, let's drink to forget. But the problem is that you can't forget the problem, because the problem the next day will be there, and added to your problem, a very strong headache. Yes, because that's what you had, right?
Yes,
Very strong headache.
very strong.
For how long would you had that headache? A full day?
I would have it, and then when I take the other alcohol, it would just finish.
So it feels like you had to
It
drink
was like
more.
a cycle. It was just like a cycle.
So what did you do basically? Because maybe this viewer is watching us and he wants to know, how does faith in God truly help me? How does faith in God truly help you overcome this addiction?
It helped me when I was totally honest with myself, when I totally was opening my heart to God through my faith school, when I was honest that, yes, God, I do have this problem drinking, and, you know, it's destroying my family, and I don't know how to, you know, overcome it, and just giving it to God, and just being, you know, faithful in whatever I was being taught, just to be faithful and being consistent, you know, with what I was being told. God just started, it wasn't like an overnight thing, it was a process. Even though I did start going to my faith school, so now and then I used to like, you know, fall, but I would get back up again, because by the word of God, I would use that, because, you know, when you're going to faith school, sometimes, you know, someone will come and put negative things in your mind to make you go back down again. But then you have to have that power to say, no, I'm not going there again. I'm just going to continue in my faith. Yeah, now I don't even have the desire. I can go to our supermarket, I can walk through where the beer is, and I don't even have a desire to drink nothing. It's as if God just took out, you know, that feeling. But before, when I used to go, I used to literally walk up and down on that aisle, just debating with myself whether I should just get a drink or what. But now I do not have a desire to drink, and I know that's only God, it's not myself.
So Sanjay, how is your mom today? Because you are here as well to testify a change in your mom. Yeah. Okay, what do you testify about your mom?
My mum is very strong, extremely strong. She's just very strong in herself. She knows who she is. She knows what she wants for life, and she's going for it. Even if she may not be there yet, but she's going head on for it. Also, she likes to have a good time. She does. She loves it. But now she doesn't need anything to prompt it. She doesn't need anything to make her to feel happy or to have fun. It's just sober. It's just her personality, her faith, and that's a good thing. It's a great thing to see that it's a pure joy. She's a happy person. She attends the faith school, and she's learning day by day, and she's growing in herself. She's becoming a great woman of God.
You admire your mom now, huh?
Yes, I do. I always have, but even more now, even more.
Thank you.
You see. That's what happens, Neil, when we have our faith in God.
Yeah, that's what happens. And something that Ms. Patience says, I want the viewer to get. She recognized, she accepted that there is a problem. If you don't accept that there is a problem, so even though you may want to embrace faith, it will not help. First, you have to accept that, yes, I have this problem. Then when you embrace faith in the living God, then you are going to see the changes in your life.
Yeah, because nothing is impossible.
No.
You are living proof that you don't need to depend on alcohol to be happy.
Yes.
You don't need to depend on alcohol to be heard. Yes or no?
Yes.
Today you are a different woman.
Yes,
right?
definitely.
Who is Patience today?
I think Patience now is a person that knows what she wants in life, a person that's just happiness that's just pure and of sober mind. Yeah, a person, I just know my vision. I know where God is taking me. I know where I am now. God is with me. That reassurance.
Are you happy?
I'm very happy.
Strong?
Strong, yes.
Oh, Patience, thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us.
It's wonderful to see a family here together.
Yeah.
This is the most important thing, because alcohol does not destroy one life only.
It destroys a family.
Alcohol destroys a family. Alcohol destroys everything. Well, that addiction, we can talk about many others. But today you are living proof that with God it's possible.
Yes.
So this is what I'm telling you, my friend. Please, if you're watching me there now and you're going through a problem, you can email us at help@findinganswers.tv. help@findinganswers.tv, and we will be glad to answer and reply you back, giving you a word of faith, and for sure, inviting you tonight to pray with us. Take and prepare. Sorry for doing this movement, but I want you to share with you. I want you to have, because as we have here our glass of water, I want you to prepare yours, because in the last segment of this program, we are going to say a prayer in your behalf, and I believe that God will touch you wherever you are. Let's go for a break. We come back after. Welcome back to Finding Answers. I hope you're having enjoying the program until now, because the testimony from patients is wonderful.
Yeah.
Neil, what a wonderful story.
It was very strong. And I believe it opened the eyes of many people that they were addicted and they were even at the point of giving up. Something she said that because her voice was not heard, and how many people they close themselves because no one is hearing them.
And when they try to ask for help, maybe they don't do it in the right way.
Yeah.
There are many institutions, social things that the government provides with. There is faith, which one we are addressing ourselves to, because when we come to God in faith, I believe God can and will help you overcome through faith. That's why patience was able to overcome.
Yeah.
And 2 years of alcoholism, and I can only imagine someone who is already for 10 years,
sometimes 15, 20,
or even more, maybe a lifetime, right?
Yeah.
And if you're going through that, or you have that in your house, you have an addiction in your family, look for help. Don't stand there and think, I don't know what to do. There's so many things that you can do, so many places that you can look for help. Don't stay there accepting your problem, accepting that situation, because the more you accept it, the worse it will become. Ignoring a problem, it doesn't mean that the problem is sorted. Yeah. It means that the problem is there, but you don't want to look at it. But it's still there. And this is the problem with many people who are watching us tonight. Yeah. Because instead of doing something to sort out their problems, they keep on ignoring and put the problems aside.
Yeah. And that's why if you have any questions, don't be afraid to send to us your question. You can send at help@findinganswers.tv. We are going to answer your question. So let's go now to the questions.
Yes, let's go. So Mary from Tottenham, she says, what misconceptions are there about faith? Neil, what do you say?
Many people, David, they mix faith with emotions or faith with feelings.
Yeah.
Sometimes the person is acting, taking an action against something, and they take that action through emotions, but they think it's faith because it's an action. Mm. So many, they confuse faith with emotions. Yeah. And these where many they mix up.
Yeah, I agree with you. The battles of many people who you're watching, yes, let me address myself to you who's watching me now. That maybe, the misconception about faith nowadays, that people have this belief that faith is religion.
Yeah.
Because that's what you have been taught, that's how you were brought up, that's how your parents were taught, and that's what they passed on to you. But I want to let you know that faith is not religion. Faith is not just a feeling. You can't go to a place of worship just to lift up your hands and sing a beautiful song and think because you're feeling that emotion of the words of that song that you're feeling the presence of God. No. Faith is what brings consciousness, awareness. Please, Neil.
Yeah.
When faith comes into us, faith helps us to make the right choices.
Yeah.
Not the wrong choices based on a feeling or an emotion. So I hope you don't let yourself be deceived by the religion or by an emotional faith. Faith is reason. Faith of God, God's faith is reason. The power to think, to understand, yes, to take action. The shortest point between point A and point B is a straight line.
Yeah.
It's not a short or twisted line. It's a straight line. So for us to go to God, there is only one line straight there, and it's faith with reason. Faith with reason. Should I stop drinking? Of course. Why? Because it hurts me, it kills me, it can make me make things that I should not do.
Destroy my family, destroy
Yes.
my relationship, can cost my life.
True.
So let me think.
So I put a stop
Yeah.
and I say, my God, help me. And He will help you and give you strength for you to overcome. Okay? Don't be afraid. Let's go quickly
Yes.
for our next one. We let's see what is our next question from Ade from Lambeth. It says, how can I establish a relationship with God? Well, that's very easy. Easy? Yes, it's very easy. Look at a marriage. How can a marriage between the husband and the wife work when there is what? Conversation, communication.
Yeah.
How can I establish my relationship with God? When you communicate with God through your prayers, like you were saying before, reading
Yes.
the Bible.
Yes, to obey His word.
Yeah.
For example, let's say I have a grudge against you. So I start to read the word of God. So it says to forgive. So let me think. If His word said to forgive, let me forgive. Let me take out this grudge. So when I take out this grudge, I obey His word, then I'm developing a relationship with Him because I'm drawing closer to Him because I'm following and obeying exactly what He says.
It's like you are starting now in a dating. You met someone. What's the secret for that relationship to work? Communication.
Yeah.
You have to talk. You have to talk. Do you want to know how faith works? Talk to God.
Yeah.
Prepare yourself, please. Go now, prepare a glass with water, because we are going to prepare ourselves for the moment of prayer. And when we pray for you, here now, please, come close to me if you can. Amen. Come closer if you can, please. Amen. Let me talk to you, looking at you. Come closer. Yes, thank you, cameraman. When God says yes, He says yes. His yes never means no. So if He says yes to you tonight, you can be sure that wherever you are now, at this moment, He will touch you. So watch this testimony, because as soon as this testimony finishes, we are going to say the prayer. Prepare your glass with water, because we have ours prepared already. And I believe that when you drink of this water, the Spirit of God will touch you. And I tell you, you will be strong and courageous to say, I don't want this kind of life anymore. I want a better, a healthier, a very stable life with God. And I'm sure that He will do that in your life. This is my faith. Amen. That's what I believe. If you believe, prepare yourself. Watch this testimony. We come back with a prayer determining your success and your victory in your life.
I felt that my dad he didn't care. He was selfish. He felt like if he came and he would buy things, it was fine. But he couldn't sit down with his children and, ask them how they were or if they were going through anything. He was never there. I saw my dad cheating on my mum. I saw him being very violent with my mum as well, because I remember at one point my mum locked him out the house, and what happened was that he punched through the window to open the window of the house so he could get in, and the mum had to call the police. The police got involved, the police took him away, and I don't know where he slept, but he didn't sleep in the house, because I saw that my dad was the problem of the house. He was the one that would hurt my mum and cause the arguments. When my mum told me that he left, I didn't feel any way about it, to be honest. I didn't feel like, he shouldn't have gone, da, 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 da. No, I felt like, you know what, he's gone, maybe things can change now. In secondary school, who I was someone who I didn't care about my education. I didn't really care about anything really, except for, girls, and being involved with what you would call fun. Like I wanted to do everything. I wanted to try everything. I wanted to go parties. I wanted to, hang around with my friends. It meant that I wasn't studying. I wasn't, spending time with my family and, building a relationship with my brothers or any of that. It was kind of like I was just focusing on my social life and my friends and what they were doing, what they believed was, cool. I started off secondary school a very shy person, very closed off, because of what I went through in primary school. And then so they kind of helped me to try out different things and be experimental. My studies were, the thing is, I would do tests and then I would always fail my tests. They would get me these like personal tutors, and when I would sit down with the personal tutors, they would teach me how to do things, and then once they taught me, I would kind of catch on to it quickly. My personal tutor he even looked at me and he was like, "Why are you failing? You shouldn't be failing." When I finished my GCSEs, I ended up with 2 BTECs and 1 GCSE. When I got to that point, I felt like, I didn't know where I was going to end up in life. I didn't know whether I was going to have a future. And I realized I needed to get help. I didn't think it was a possibility for me to get help until I ended up coming to the youth group. And when I came to the youth group, that's when I started seeing, that youths were achieving things. Youths were moving forward with their lives. Youths were happy. They felt fulfilled. They felt like they knew where they was going, because that was one thing that really got to me, that I didn't know where I was going to end up in the future. I didn't know what was going to happen with my life. One thing that really stuck out that made me want to change was the pastors and their wives. Because I grew up seeing my mum and my dad always arguing, and I saw my dad being unfaithful to my mum, I kind of saw relationships in a way that every relationship had an expiring date. Every relationship was going to end at one point. Like marriage was something that you would only see in the films. But then when I saw that, marriages, like happy marriages existed, people would stay together, and men were faithful to their wives, that was one thing that really stuck out to me. I couldn't believe it. I was thinking to myself, if my dad was like this, I think I would be the happiest person in the world. And that's when I decided, life can really change. I can have a better life. I don't have to fail. And then when I started reading the promises of God, how God was with you, that you didn't have to be alone, that I started to feel like I could speak to someone. Finally, I could open up to someone about everything that I was going through. I started to learn that my dad was he's human, and he has his flaws, just like me or anyone else. So me and my dad were clean, no grudges towards him. Me right now, I know where I'm going. Each day I know where I'm going. I know what I have to do to go towards the direction that I want to go. I'm seeing all different areas of my life, they're starting to really develop. My family is right now, they're more united. I'm building a relationship with my brothers. My mom is my mom and my brothers, they come to the church as well. I don't want my life to end.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer concerning your family and loved ones, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
My Father, in the name of your Son, Jesus, I present to you, my Lord, at this moment, people that their homes are broken because of addiction, drinking, smoking, gambling. There are many people at this moment, my Lord, watching us. They are experiencing the past of Miss Patient. She faces 2 years of terror. And many, my Lord, right now, they have been going 12 years, 7 years. This man that lost his wife because of a drinking problem. This wife that lost her husband because of a gambling problem. but you are God that you restore families. You are God that you remove any addiction, any problems. The same way, my Lord, through your word, through faith, you help, my Lord, Miss Patient. Do the same for this person. How many children they grew up, watch their parents fight, their parents abuse each other because of a drinking problem. But my God, I ask you right now to reach out to those ones, my Lord, that they can't sleep at night. They are going through difficult moments. They are having financial problems. They are having, my Lord, panic attack. They are hearing voices. They are seeing shadows. You know, my Lord, what these people, they are going through. I ask you, my God, to touch this man that is at the verge of giving up. This person, my Lord, that is in the hospital, suffering with cancer, sugar diabetes, HIV. My Lord, in the name of your Son Jesus, I ask you, my God, to consecrate this water, because when this person drink, my Lord, through faith, this person that was at the point of giving up, give strength to this one, my Lord. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, that's what I ask of you, my Lord. I pray, my Lord, for this country. I pray for the authorities, all the authorities, my Lord. I pray for them right now. And I determine this water is blessed. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, drink your water now. Drink and receive strength. Drink and be healed wherever you are right now.
Amen. Praise God. I believe that this prayer has helped you to overcome. And if you are feeling down, afraid, you don't have anyone to talk to, you have been going through many problems, maybe even an addiction problem, of alcohol, drugs, prostitution, whatever. Whatever is there that it's making you suffer. There is a way out. God has a solution to your problem. You just have to give him a chance, an opportunity. So if you're watching us now and you're going through a problem, don't forget, you can email us at help@findinganswers.tv. And I believe that the Spirit of God will guide us to help you, to give you a word of faith, a word of hope for you to lift up your head and move forward. Neil, God does amazing things when we give him a chance.
Yes, and we have to open ourselves and be ready to receive him. Yeah. If you close yourself, is like a person that is drowning. If you don't raise up your hands, ask for help, help will not be given to you. And also, if you want to speak to an advisor, you can call at 020-7686-6300. We are always welcome to talk to you if you want to talk to someone.
So that's the number. You can give a call and an advisor will talk to you. All right? Be strong. Lift up your head. Don't fear. God is with you. I want to remind you that you should also look for local authorities if you're going through a problem. All right? And then put faith in God, because I know that he will help you overcome. May God bless you. See you in the next time in Finding Answers.
This program is brought to you by UCKG.